Everybody. This is Tony Wisler, and I'm here with John Dowda. But we have a very special show today because we're going to be talking with Rich Gregg. And hey, Rich, good to see you. I'm glad you can make the
Guys,
show. Um, what I'd like to ask first, Rich, is if you could just let everyone know who you are, the name of your shop, where it is, all that good stuff. Fire away, my friend.
all right. So my name is Rich Gregg. I've been with Drive since 2016. My shop is in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. Um, it's Essential Auto Service is the name. It's kind of a small shop. There's only six of us, so it's not like some of the guys in the top 20 group that have multiple shops or have 15 employees. But it's a good shop. I'm proud of it. Runs well, makes me money. What more can you ask for?
That's wonderful. And tell us a little bit about Waterloo.
Well, Waterloo, Southern Ontario. It's fairly populated. Population's around 600,000. It's like a tri-city, Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, all kind of mashed together. There's, I think, last count over 525 independent shops in the Tri-City. So there's a lot of people. There's also a lot of competition.
Right.
And we're
Well,
about we're about an hour west of Toronto.
hour west of Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good. Very good.
about hour and a half north of Buffalo.
Cool. And you're on the top 20, correct? You're part of our top 20 program?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very good. For anybody that doesn't know, top 20 is totally operational program. It's for shops that are fully, I won't say you're never fully there, never fully making it, but you really doing well. And you get, and it's a peer program where you can work closely with other shops that are in the same condition that you're in. And he's part of that program as well.
Anyone that's thinking of getting to that stage, I highly recommend Top 20. It's fantastic. We were just in New York um, last month, just like less than a month ago. We were in New York at David's shop in Brooklyn. Fantastic time.
That's great.
Great host, great shop, and so much fun to see everybody. So I really love being a part of Top 20. It's uh, it's a great community.
That's really great to hear. And then you guys get together when you actually go to a location and you get together. How often does that occur?
About every 6 months, do it twice a year,
Mhm.
and uh, so the fall one in October is going to be in California actually, and we're going to visit a few different shops while we're there, and it's good. I love it. I always stay an extra few days and do a little sightseeing and touring around, so it's always a good time.
That's really great.
And
Now,
you
how
always
often?
learn so much too, right? Like just everybody's everybody's in the exact same boat, and everybody's got different weak areas in their shop. So to be able to get together with everybody and to listen to other people, it's you always come away with something really powerful.
Right, right. Very good. And I was going to say, you guys also have weekly, or how frequently do you guys meet, like over the phone or in a Zoom call or something of that nature?
Yeah, we Zoom meet every Tuesday, so um, we've got to prep our numbers, get our sales and our stats and everything together. Just write a small report and send it out to the people into your individual top 20 group, and then we meet via Zoom on Tuesdays and just kind of support each other. If you've got some major problems, it's a good time to say, hey, this is working, this isn't working. What do you think I should do? So it's definitely been a huge help for me. Um,
Uh,
there's been some great people in the group that are very successful, and I've always been able to take notes on things to do and think new things to try. So it's definitely a bonus being a part of the top 20.
that's great. That's great. Any thoughts, John?
Yeah, you talked about the size of your team. You said you, and here's the thing I'm curious about because we coaches over here at Drive, a lot of us are working with shops that want to get new technology brought in. And the article that recently came out about you in our on our Drive webpage mentions the fact that Waterloo is considered the Silicon Valley of the North, and you feel like your populace there accepts your technology well. What I'm curious about was the work that you had to do to get your team up to speed with technology. Was that pretty smooth, or did that take a good bit of push on your part to get there?
No, that was pretty smooth. Like when we went digital with Auto Vitals years ago, it was other than just I probably struggled with it more than anyone in the shop, to be honest with you. Just
Mhm.
getting everything set up, getting the tablets the way you wanted it,
Yeah,
writing your inspection reports the way you want them and everything like that. I was the one who was doing all that, and then I threw it out there, and everyone was trying it, and then I was just getting a ton of feedback from the tech saying, "Hey, we need to add this, we need to add this," and once I knew how to actually do the construct it the way we wanted it, then
right,
just go and make the changes and stuff. But that sort of stuff, yeah, we are definitely a tech hub. We've got a big Google Center, and um, Waterloo is the home of BlackBerry when it came out. Unfortunately, they lost Apple and got crushed, but yeah, it was a
yeah,
huge tech center that we have, and
yeah.
so my crew is we've always been trying to push and stay relevant with everything we do. So I wouldn't say we're not a paperless shop, but we've gone from handwriting invoices to you know all the way to fully digital, and most customers too. We just email them the receipt. We try and keep as paperless as possible.
Right.
Um,
Along those lines, Rich, again, to that point, you said you had a relatively small team, although we have a lot of one man shops that feel like six people would be like a whole army to them if they could get six people under the roof working together, getting things done. That'd be phenomenal. But I don't think six is that small. But perhaps one reason you're able to maintain the level of success without more people is the digital nature of the way you work. I'm going to assume that it really has part of streamlining the business has been making everything digital.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, and we use our shop management system as Protractor. It's a really robust program. I really like it, but the learning curve was extremely painful. Big program to learn. And
Yeah.
last fall we were in Montana at Travis's shop. Excuse me. And he's just got an absolutely beautiful shop, very well run, and he also uses protractors. So again, I was able to get with his front end team and learn a lot from them because they had mastered protractor better than we were using it. So again, there's another top 20 meeting I come back from, and I've got better. I was able to make it better for our team by incorporating the stuff that Travis's team took the time to teach me while I was there. So this is sort of stuff that it's always improving, right? Um,
Right.
my yeah, my techs. I got three techs and basically two service advisors, but one of the service advisors also the shop manager. Um, so he does kind of like a third of the writing. He does all the other running around and month end and making sure that the place stays profitable and things like that. But the front end team and the back end, like they have to be able to communicate together and be on the same page, right? So the digital inspection helps with that a lot, and the process that we use at the shop with it is very seamless now. So it's that's sort of stuff saves you a huge amount of time. Might be difficult to set up in the beginning, but makes you totally saves you money and impresses the customer. The customers just absolutely love it. Um, we've got like 425 5-star reviews, and a lot of people just go on
Beautiful.
about the integrity, or the what's the word I'm looking for, like the transparency, right? They just love the digital inspection. So anyone who's out there that's not doing digital inspections needs to get on board. It's a huge game changer.
Right.
I totally agree.
Been
And
doing
then
it
I,
for, but
and one of the things that I noticed that you brought up was this idea of good communication with the team. And of course, when you can use technology to facilitate that, that's really the ultimate goal. But what I wanted to ask also is, how much do you actually operate within the day to day now? Because you're saying you have the three techs, you have the two service advisors, one is your general manager, essentially. So are you basically out of the workflow entirely now?
yeah,
Like, okay.
I just go into the shop to cover for the front end if someone's sick or on holidays. That's it.
Mm.
So, like I'm working I'm working the next 3 Fridays in a row because my manager and my service advisor both have kids that are in sports, and they've got away tournaments, weekend tournaments, so they're off Fridays. So for the month of May, I'm working every Friday, but that'll be the only. Actually, I think it's just three Fridays, because then I'm going to Portugal and Spain for the F1 Grand Prix. So so
So,
I'll be there
nice.
for 2 weeks, right? So that sort of stuff, I've got that freedom where I don't need to go to the shop. They actually put a big picture of me up in the back door to the shop, and they wrote "banned" right across it. So
I
because
love
usually
that.
if I go there and start fiddling around, poking my fingers into things, that I get on
Right.
everybody's nerves, and I disrupt the system and whatnot.
Well, well, there are three things I noticed there that I just find wonderful. Like, the first thing is you're going to come in and you're going to help out so that your crew can have a very good work-life balance. Like, oh, hey, they're going to the finals. We need Friday off. Hey, can I get Friday off? Sure, take Friday off. And then with all of that, you're like, well, I'm going to have to come in and I'm going to have to work some Fridays. I think that's cool. You're helping out. They can go do their thing. And then of course you add, which I think would love. And then when we get done with that, I'm going to Portugal. Like, and that, or I don't know. That feels like achieving the goal. Like, do you feel like
Oh
you've
yeah,
achieved it? Like you've got like everything you wanted to achieve, and they're like you've gotten
yeah,
there?
yeah, absolutely. Like, um, yeah, my time is very valuable to me. I have other streams of income that um, are even greater than the shop. So for me to spend time at the shop, um, I like going there, but I no longer like dealing with customers. Like I've just gotten to that point where, after 30 years of it, they wear you down and you get, I have trouble answering the questions and stuff. Like I just don't want to do any of that. So I don't do any of that. It's just I no longer have the energy to be the front man. And so I let my front team be those people, because they're people persons. And they
Right.
love people, and they can handle all that, and it's just not for me anymore. I like to do other things. So yeah, the shop runs smooth without me. And if there's issues, there's always some issues, right? There's some fire that needs putting out, but mostly my manager handles it, or the whole team just handle it together. And I don't really have to get involved with too much stuff. So the only thing I do still is payroll and marketing, and that's it.
And how much time a week do you spend on those two activities?
Not much. Like I get together with my marketing guy every quarter. We go over all the marketing we've done and look at all the results, all the statistics of the marketing, and then come up with a new plan for the next quarter, and then kind of just put that in. Then he puts that into motion, and we kind of just go from there. So it's not a constant thing I'm doing,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
payrolls every 2 weeks. So I just I just do that every 2 weeks. So yeah, I don't really
Nice.
do too much. A lot of people that know me know this is what I do. I day trade. I day trade futures, and that's my thing. That's what I love to do. Um, so I can't get enough of that. So I like to. That's my hobby, my passion. That's moved away from
Nice.
cars into other things. But I have freedom. That's the thing, is that I have the freedom of the time. Getting to the business to a stage where I don't have to be there is, to me, more valuable than anything, because it still earns me a good income, but I don't have to be really a part of it.
That's awesome.
Well, Rich, to that point, I feel like, you know, we also recently did a profile on you about leadership. And I feel like that really dovetails in with you're able to not be there because you led so well previously. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it is hiring the right people. It really starts there. Now, again, like I said, there's only six of us, including me, so I only have five employees. So it's a lot easier to manage than if you've got 15 employees. But really hiring people, we always interview people as a group, like my front end. So like me, my manager, and my service advisor would always do an interview together. And we'd each have a clipboard with a copy of the resume, and be interviewing the person. And the first person to write uh, 110 across on the resume, we knew a 110 was time to shut that interview down, because I'll show you a 110. I probably got to write it backwards. A 110, that's a no. So we
Very
knew
good code.
Good
we
one.
knew if this interview was a 110, it was time to.
Get
And it
out.
Get it off.
only took one of us to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's something about this person I don't like, and I think that's how we ended up hiring really good people, right? Like that, it just clicked with us right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. When, what do you think was the thing that gave you that ability the most, to be that good leader? Where do you think that came from?
Well,
Just to
from drive, right? Like, and learning things from other shop owners. Was it Jim Anderson? Um, he spent some time with me and taught me a lot of stuff about hiring and firing. I got to say, that's the biggest mistake I've made as a business owner, is waiting too long to fire people in years past.
Mhm.
You think you can't do without them, you hang on to them too long. You don't realize how much they're disrupting the rest of the workforce. And yeah, it's the worst thing to have someone in your shop, either in the front or the back, that is just that thorn in your side, but you put up with them. And I've done that, several times in the last 25 years of owning the business. So it's that's the biggest thing for me. Getting rid of the ones that aren't fully on board with your vision. So letting them know how we work, the way we do things, whether it be inspection, recommending work, selling work, um, you know, reminders for people, just the way we roll everything out from start to finish. Having people on the team that they're all on the same page makes such a huge difference, right? Like if some guys, like I've got one guy, he's been a dealer technician for years and years, and he had some really bad dealer habits that we had to break. It's kind of like, no,
Yeah,
that's we're not, just because it needs a left front wheel bearing, we're not putting both front wheel bearings in it. That's not how I operate. You know,
right.
we We don't do things like that. Like we're just we're going to educate the customer with the digital inspection on everything that needs doing, and we're going to guide them to what they should be doing, but we're not going to pressure them into doing anything they don't want to do. We've got to educate them, right? Educate them, and then if you educate them on the benefits to them, then they understand, then they make their own decision and say, go ahead and do the work, right? You don't really have to force people into buying something under pressure. So
Yeah, it's enlightenment.
that's
You're
the
just
way I like to, run the business. And so I've got a whole group that are like-minded like that. They're not pressure sales people or anything like that, right? So
yeah. Sounds like just enlightenment and let them make their choices. I
yeah.
feel like John had a question for you.
Well, I wanted to let you know that some of your friends, Dennis Goodhue from your top 20 group, and your fearless leader, Carla Weiss, Coach Carla
Yes.
Weiss, they're both watching. We want to send a shout out to Dennis and Carla.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
thank you
That's
for
great.
Yep.
supporting Rich in his time of need. So I am really interested in how you view the top 20 group, as far as I know that you guys do a lot to think about giving back, like giving back to the community, that sort of thing, in supporting other shops. Um, I feel like personally, one of the things our industry needs as a whole is for successful shops to be willing to work with and help other people get, not necessarily just give them the keys, but help people get better to make the industry better. And I think you've got some feelings on that point too.
Yeah, absolutely, right. You've got to um like the shops, the other independent shops around me, like I know them all. You know, I know who they are. They're because I've been in business in the area for 25 years. So, I know a lot of them and some of them, well, a lot of them are are rough shops, like my suppliers come to my shop and say, you should drive around with me to my 250 accounts for a day and you would be blown away. And I've been into a couple of them and it's true, right? You're like, geez, like help yourself grow here, buddy. Like throw some of this garbage out. Like you've got garbage everywhere. And it's, you
Yeah.
know, clean your act up. Like it doesn't take much, but just throw some of this stuff out. You're never going to use it. You
Right.
know, I mean,
You never know when a 47 Studebakers coming in and gonna need that coming in, right?
even that, I went into one shop and they had so much promotional material in the waiting room. It was literally a maze. You had to walk, through this maze of promotional stuff. I'm like, let's just throw all this garbage out and
Like a hoarder.
yeah, put some paint in the place and put some nice chairs in and you
Yeah.
know hang some stuff
Yeah.
up and make it so you can actually have a conversation with somebody, right? Like,
Well, there is one thing that I think that a lot of people, and I was kind of taught this at Drive by being with Drive as well, is that when you're dealing with the industry, these people you are competing with them. They are your competitors, but they're not as much as they should be your collaborators. Like there are a lot of people that are particularly Drive clients who have shops in the same city with other Drive clients, and they don't. It's not a battle. It's not like a war between the different businesses. You know, two shops can exist in that market and they can both flourish. And so if you know that's true, then you can collaborate. And like you said, like that's why I think John's question was so apropos. It's like, is there something that can be done within the community to help the people of this ilk mind? You guys all you're part of a pretty exclusive, pretty cool club. Like entrepreneurs who are who deal with fixing cars. Like that's a very small club, and being friendly and being and working together is always cooler. And you've even said it a few times in this meeting when it comes to top 20. Like it's that peer collaboration is just so powerful. Um, do you have
Yeah.
anything else going on within the community?
But with like, yeah, just on that note, from my shop, literally within uh, you know, half a mile, there's there's 5 other shops, independent shops within half a mile from my shop. And
Wow.
I don't worry about a single one of them, right? They do their thing, I do mine. I'm not competing against them. Like there's no I mean in a way I am, but I have my clients and I have my shop and I don't worry about those other shops whether and how busy they are and what they're doing. Like it's just there's there's so many shops in the city that it doesn't I just don't look at it like that. I look at it as I learned from my top 20 group and I try to implement and we just try and stay profitable and we have to deal with the same problems that everybody else in the business does, whether it be parts issues or getting information issues or having enough equipment to fix something complicated or enough or the right people to be able to handle a problem, right? And that's where, that's just like running any business, I suppose, right? As a group in the business, we all have the same goal to put high quality work out, give the customer good value for what we're charging them, stand behind their work, and really, it's that simple. If you do that and somebody leaves feeling like you've treated them well and you've explained everything well, they're going to come back. You know, so
Yeah.
as far as in my community, um, I've never done car giveaway, but like I'm actually on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, I will be at one of the schools uh, doing presentations on getting into the trades. It's something I do every year in this time, but the first week of May, and there's there's a whole group of us. I'm the only auto shop owners, but there's electricians, plumbers, nurse, all the trades, and we go into the schools and all the kids that are interested about schools. Like it's a grade, like a grade 7, 8 school, right before they're going to high school, and yeah, we let them know about the trades, and if going to university is not for you, then you can have a very successful career, a very successful life. Look at the trades, get into the trades. So I like to do that. We spend it's the entire morning. We go from 8:30 till about 1 o'clock. Um, and we go classroom to classroom to classroom, um, answering questions and talking to them. And then there's a big presentation in the gym. So that's something that I do in the community that I like
I
to do
love
every.
that.
Rich, I gotta say, that's one of the most important things you do to give back. We're desperately in need of good, solid people that are looking for a real career. That,
Mhm.
that's an
It,
awesome.
it is great, because I was not somebody that I was not somebody that loved school when I was in school.
Hmm.
I didn't know what I wanted I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I struggled at school and I felt back then the school system really failed me. I didn't get, it was like go to university or be a loser. Like there
Those
was
are
no
our two choices.
there was no direction, right? Like even my dad couldn't wrap his head around me getting into the trades. Like
Right.
he's just like, what a waste of your life. I'm like, I just went with what I was good at. And I had those kind of mechanical skills more than book skills.
Yeah.
And it paid off, right? So I get a really great kick out of it when I'm, meeting with all these kids in grade 8 that are in the same boat that I was back then and just thought, you know, this isn't for me. And when you tell them, hey, like, I'm 55, I'm retired, I have a successful business, I can go and do whatever I want, go where I want, and they're like, wow, like how do you do that? Well, I did it by fixing cars. you
I
know,
love it. I
and then you
love
just
it.
take it step by step. You can do it, but you want to be an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter or whatever you want to do. You can have a fantastic life and a fantastic career. So
Wow. I
When
mean,
you're
that's instilling hope, man. That really does instill hope.
when you're in Lisbon enjoying a glass of Vino Verde, you can send a postcard to your old guidance counselors who
that's right.
made you feel like you weren't going anywhere, going into the trades,
Hey,
right?
hey, John. I
Yes,
think it's
Tony.
time. I think it's time for an announcement. It's a commercial break time.
You are
We're we're
watching
we're
Drive
we're running
Facebook Live.
we're running a little late, but we can go a little over. It's no worries. But I
We're
want to
running a
make
little
sure we get
late,
the, but I
and
want to get the commercial in.
you
Tony's going to
know,
sing us a song here.
I'm going to sing
yeah.
you one.
Uh, I might do a little ham bone while you guys are singing. That's about all I can do. Well, I'm sure our friend Dan Vasquez out in Rockland, California, has waited this whole time to hear his name. So, hi,
That's
Dan
right.
Vasquez. He is coming up next week. He is the guest, and he has a topic: the paperless shop, with special guest Dan Vasquez, also a master elite, like Rich, also top 20 with Drive. I want to add something. There are two great speeches that Rich gave at our Drive Expos when he received Master and when he received Master Elite. And they are in the comments here in our Facebook Live chat. I would highly recommend, if you own a shop, if you're thinking of owning a shop and you need that extra kick in the seat to get things together, Rich's speeches will help get you over the top. Tony, can I have an extra 10 seconds?
You may.
Forgive me for this. We've got a loyal following in our Spanish workshop group. Solo quiero saludar a mi gente y decir que hoy por la tarde otra vez nos vamos a ver. Okay, that's it. Back to you, boss.
Thank you. Okay, great. So, Rich, any final thoughts? It's been a great show. I've loved having you. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Um, not really. Well, it's Dan Vasquez's shop we're going to next for the top 20 meeting in October. So
Yeah.
a little promotion
Nice.
there.
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
off.
it's if you follow the program and you do the work, then you'll get to where you want to be. And I think as far as like my management style and managing staff, it's very open, right? Like I'm not a yeller or a screamer. If there's something going wrong, then sit down, just have a conversation and say, hey, policies and procedures. I wrote a lot of policies and procedures. I got a binder of policies and procedures that I wrote, and we'll go over them again, and that tends to keep people in line, right? It's like don't fall off the vision train here. We know how to do our job. Stay doing your job, and that tends to bring people around, right? You don't have to yell and scream if you have to have that conversation 3 times, then it's time to find somebody else, right? They're
Yeah.
obviously not going to learn. So that's basically all I got to say.
Well, that's great. That's a great ender. Thank you so much, Rich. Thanks for helping me out, John. Appreciate it. To
Got it.
everybody out there, we'll
Thank you,
see.
Rich.
Yep.
Yeah, great to see you guys again.
Yep. We'll see you guys next Friday.